Yo, welcome to this week's episode of Clumsy Thieves. It's your boy Cortez. We got a full table here tonight, a couple guests. I'm going to let everybody go around and introduce themselves, starting with...
I'm Natasha. I'm from Vegas. I'm 24.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy B Savvy. How y'all doing, Strategy?
Man, if you don't get your...
I'm real smooth on the mic,
talking
you know
ass.
what I mean?
Hey, yo, that nigga came in like Snoop.
Hey, yo,
this is your boy B Savvy.
That's all. It's just an ego with me. I can't help myself.
Nigga, man.
Tavis.
That ain't in the circle, but you know, you go ahead, bro. Be great.
It's me, MJ.
Yeah, illustrious co-host.
This nigga spilling words.
CJ.
Wow, bro.
All the
had to.
adjectives in the world.
Of all the words you could have used, I
Had
saw you,
to.
bro.
Take
I
the
come with
same
some new
words.
shit. It's all good though. You know, niggas like being like me. Anyway, so let's kick this thing off, man. It's kind of late tonight. We got a full table, a lot to talk about. Let's go in on this week's fuck going on around here.
I thought it was out here.
It is out here. I was. You know what? I hate when niggas be trying to clean up your mistakes, bro. Just keep shit rolling. This nigga, I thought it was out here. Like, okay. In this week's edition of Fuck Going On Out Here, what y'all got?
Oh, man, since we talking about topics, I feel like we should go with the boxing first, you feel me? I feel like the infamous fight with my boy Nate over there.
That was not
crazy.
shit infamous
It
about
was.
that.
That
Shit was
epic.
not infamous.
It was epic.
It was
That
infamous because he got rocked.
Yeah.
Got
Niggas
up
get
10
knocked out
seconds.
every day,
I'm
B.
saying,
Nah,
but
not
that was his
like
first
that.
time in the ring.
Not like that.
Niggas get knocked out. No,
that
you know
shit
what?
was embarrassing.
It was one because it was a brother getting knocked out by a white boy.
Nobody made it
No.
about that.
It
Yeah,
was
they
not-
did.
It
Who?
wasn't that he
What?
got knocked out. He got
Everybody was
he
talking
got
about,
his
bro, you
ass
let us
whooped.
down. Like, what the fuck you mean?
I think the biggest part of it was, didn't Nate Robinson call out Jake Paul?
Yeah,
I don't
for
remember
sure.
how it happened
I
though.
didn't know
Facts.
that.
I don't.
think
I
he
don't.
called
I
him
don't
out.
think he looked at Jake Paul's fight.
He didn't watch YouTube.
Nah,
bro.
he couldn't have.
I've seen Jake Paul kill people.
That
And
white
this is
boy
Nate
is
Robinson's
like,
first. It was like his first official
yeah.
debut, right?
You can tell them white boys that hung around niggas and probably do coke and shit. Like he just seemed like one of them dudes, man. That you just.
You look healthy.
You just
Nah,
don't.
he actually really healthy, bro. Like if you really check
I
his
mean, you
track
can be
record.
you think?
I mean,
on-
well, you know,
If you
yeah,
boxing,
healthy
you gotta
niggas-
be like tip
healthy
top.
niggas do powder, but
nah, come on, bro. Niggas have off seasons, bro.
nah, but he
Like,
focused. Nah,
Well,
if you-
whether he was on cocaine or whether he was just in good shape, he knocked the fuck out of Nate Robinson.
He
Yeah,
did though.
He not only knocked him out, but he whooped his ass, and that's what made it really embarrassing because he got his ass whooped.
Hey,
he didn't
bro,
just get knocked out.
I'm gonna give the brother. You know,
I give him his flowers.
I am, bro, because
Yeah.
to get in that motherfucking ring is no joke. And to
Right.
get in that ring in front of millions of people watching is no joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he shouldn't have been in there. They should have had headgear on.
But to get in the ring when you have no fighting experience,
Yeah,
bro,
so that's what I'm saying. Like, I give him props
that's
on that.
foolish.
What was that like brave? Or was that like
was foolish.
That was stupid.
It was
No fighter experience.
It was, but look, everybody think they know how to fight, right? But fighting and boxing is two different things.
Facts.
Nate went in that motherfucker trying to fight
Right.
and got his ass boxed the fuck up.
Right.
He watched too many Kimbo Slice videos back
Right.
in his day.
Facts.
Kimbo Slice used to rock people in the backyards, but
Oh, man,
got in
they
them
did.
rings and not so much.
Yeah, I mean, well, Kimbo Slice was doing MMA. You feel me? He ain't had no legs. So
Yeah.
I
He
think
did.
Kimbo Slice could have lowball boxed a little bit.
Kimbo Slice
yeah.
had some chicken legs.
And Kimbo was a beast though, man. Like I love watching them backyard brawl videos. That was a dope ass kind of documentary on Netflix.
Nah, facts.
Like a few years ago, I forgot what it's called, like Yard Dogs or some shit like
I
that.
know what one you're talking about.
Man, niggas was
It was out
getting
here in
fucked
Cali.
up,
I
bro.
think it was out here in Cali. It was based out here.
Bro, no, that was in Florida.
Nah, that was
he
Florida.
that was the same neighborhood.
He
that
from the
was
crib.
Not no
Hold on.
Cali
Yeah.
niggas.
I thought
He was from the they was from the part that Tavis not from.
Don't.
Nah, no
Nah, Kimbo was back there in some backyards. That
Yeah, but you wasn't from that neighborhood though.
you was surprised.
You was the nigga that was putting up chairs.
Putting up chairs.
At the end of the fight.
Yeah, you was putting up and taking down the chairs and shit, and wiping the blood off the chairs.
Can I get a tip?
Nah, man, that shit. That I don't know how any motherfucker can look at that and be like, "Oh man, I want to get on I want to get in the ring next week."
Right.
Nah, bro, I'm looking like, hey, bro, if you knock my motherfucking eye out, bro,
Nah, facts.
I'm popping your ass around this
facts,
motherfucker,
nah.
bro. Like, I'm just talking.
You ain't,
shit.
you ain't,
Nah,
never,
nah, I'm
you ain't
just
never
talking
been
shit.
rocked? You ain't never been knocked out?
No, I'm just talking shit, bro. I mean, I've never lost a one-on-one fight. I've got my ass jumped like probably like 4 times.
I think everybody. I've
But
jumped once. That shit ain't fun.
bro, I got jumped once by my cousin.
Oh my god.
He was with the niggas that was jumping me.
Oh my god.
Like for real. It was like on some old, but it was some young shit. It was a 6th grade versus 8th graders type
On some
shit.
Chicago shit?
Yeah,
That was some
and them niggas
Chicago
was
shit.
stumping me, and I remember just looking up and just seeing my cousin like biting his lip and shit, like booting the shit out of me, and I remember just having that look like, bro, like for real. Then we
That's
got
what I
home, and then that nigga like, it was just fucked up, bro. Like that just kind of like
So,
fucked up the family for
What was
a while.
that conversation like when you got home?
Yeah, like, what was that?
Like,
I was just like, hey, what's your name? And them jumped on me. And he was like, what the fuck you mean? He ain't help you? Like, nah, he was with the niggas that jumped on
Sound
me. and
crazy,
shit,
bro. That sound like family issues for your ass.
Yeah, man. I mean, the nigga was loyal to his classmates
I
than
feel
his
you.
family, bro.
you know that they say blood ain't always thicker than water.
Yeah, ain't
So-
lying.
That nigga wasn't my cousin. All right, let me keep it 100.
your
He
mama
wasn't my
best friend?
cousin. It was like my uncle was fucking his auntie.
Oh, well,
And we was
shit.
always around each other, so it was like you grow up calling
Oh,
each
that's
other
why he
cousins.
beat your ass.
Yeah,
Your
he
uncle
knew
was
better.
beating his mom
So
down.
then, like his auntie had to come down with him and bring him to the house, and he was like, I hit him, but I ain't like hit him. Like, nigga, it's a boot print on my back, nigga. That bitch your
You
shit.
walking, ain't you?
That was one of those things. You know how like you grow up, everybody be your cousin and shit, just because like you
Yeah.
just, y'all go over each other's house all the time.
Yeah, they family. I feel it.
but it
I
don't be-
definitely feel that.
Don't be no loyalty like that when you find out like,
Shit, it should if
The-
they come
the
into the
adults
house.
fucking.
You feel me?
But when the kids find out the adults fucking, then shit
Oh,
change
different
up
ballgame,
and shit. Like he fucking your auntie. You don't be touching her.
Did you call him Did you call him your cousin after he beat your ass?
Hell
When
no.
y'all said- Nah, that
Hell
was it.
no, bro. That nigga stopped being my cousin after
Man,
that.
he
Like
lost all
it
loyalty.
was on,
What you
nigga.
mean?
It's like nigga, I can't wait to get in 8th grade. Cause that
Oh,
nigga
he-
kept
oh, he
that
was the
nigga.
8th grader?
He was the 8th grader, but he kept failing.
My fault.
So we ended up being teammates and shit. We was
Damn.
jumping on sixth graders after that. I was like, yeah, I like this shit, nigga. We got the advantage.
Hurt people.
Because out west, like niggas would be like, damn near grown as hell, nigga, in 8th grade and shit, big as hell. Like this shit is not fair, nigga. At some point, they gotta let y'all motherfuckers go home, bro.
No child left behind. That.
Right. Oh, all right, man. What else we got out here? CJ, you wanted to talk about
I don't want no smoke. But what the
don't
fuck-
do that.
Listen,
Don't do that.
I don't want no
put
smoke.
Hey, put it on the
But
table,
what
man.
the fuck is up with this situation at True Kitchen? What happened at True Kitchen? That's what I want.
You know what happened. I
It
don't
was
like the
some
fact
twerking.
that they tried to lump it in, and this is going to tie into tonight's conversation, but I don't like the fact that people tried to lump this shit in with the protect black women shit, because I'm like, this is
How?
not that, though. Because apparently he went over there, because that was initially one video out where he was just like cursing at the women, like snapping on them. But then I think like later on, the full video came out where he was like, he went over there and addressed them calmly and was like, yo, can y'all stop twerking and dancing on the tables and the couches and shit like
word,
that.
word.
And they just kind of like disregarded him.
Right.
And then it's like, look, you in my establishment. One, you a fucking adult.
Right.
So I'm
Facts.
already irritated that I got to come over here and tell you as an adult to act like a fucking adult, right? When other patrons in the establishment is like, yo, what's going on here? But now I got to come back over here. I'm not finna come over here and give you that same humbleness that I gave you initially. I'm about to give you what you want.
All right, so let's provide some context because I think this shit.
what?
Context.
Okay.
Okay.
We call niggas out on them
Oh,
words, there, bro.
pronunciation is
Yeah.
everything.
So when what he was saying, he was like, he wants the classes. He did for black people. He did for the culture. He was serving cocktails in Douce bottles and old Patron bottles. They were playing, was it like 30 ass? They were playing music for people to shake their ass. Like, if you want this to be a class establishment, then you play nice music. You don't serve cocktails and empty alcohol bottles.
So what you're saying is the music determines the atmosphere? Because if that motherfucker was playing, if you go in the restaurant and you hear the motherfuckers playing classical music, you don't start doing the waltz and shit.
It was like advertising day party.
If you serving cocktails in Patron bottles, though, hold on. That means Douce bottles, excuse me.
Both.
You feel me? That sound a little bit, we on the ratchet side.
I'm going to ask y'all a question. How many times has Juvenile Back That Ass Up came on? And women didn't start dancing. That's off top automatic.
Yeah, they'll do that anywhere. That's facts.
Add on to that question. How many times have you been in a classy established restaurant and heard Juvenile Back That Ass Up?
Right, facts.
Yeah, but you playing music towards your demographic though.
No.
Right? You telling me you cannot sit and listen to it like you got the urge to twerk so much that you just can't you can't just hold this shit in.
Not Juvenile Back That Ass Up.
Let's let the women weigh in on this. What do you think, Tasha? Should they been shaking their ass or should they been just eating the chicken?
I am not aware of the video. I saw what was going on like on the internet, but if you're like serving the food and playing the music and people are drinking, then it's like then they're dancing, like enjoy it if it's like all in the same atmosphere.
I think dancing was fine. I think it's when they started standing on the couches. That's when he had the issue, though. It's like so now
they were disrespecting.
Yeah,
property?
That's
different.
something
if you're
different.
not on the dance floor, then don't do it on.
It's
the
like you can
table.
twerk. He might even gave a pass at twerking in front of the table,
right,
but when you start standing on the couch, now you being unruly. Now there's no excuse for that. I don't give a fuck if it's Juvenile Back That Ass Up or any other. What other ratchet anthems is it?
I don't know. I like my girls twerking on couches.
Throw that
so
ass in a circle.
Hold y'all up.
Red nose.
Red nut.
You're probably gonna just need everything to be in a designated area.
Facts.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it was a small establishment though. It wasn't
That's
like
what
it was
I'm saying.
a big
If that's
thing.
not what it was, then that was not what it was. That was a mess.
Nah, it was a mess. I think what he wanted, his like execution, his vision didn't match up with they didn't match up. For like what he wanted, what he got angry over is like.
So niggas should have just been eating in silence.
I'm not saying
like, girl, we could have music, but y'all don't know how to sit y'all ass down. So
they
now
just should have been on the couch.
Got to eat and talk to each other.
Okay, they shouldn't have been on the couch, but also don't create the environment.
But it's my establishment though. How you gonna tell me how to run my establishment based on the music you playing? Like, if you don't want nobody twerking their ass, then don't play ass twerking music. Like,
yes,
man, you an adult, man. Sit your ass down and eat this shit and go home.
Why I'm drinking a Douce slushy? It was a fucking slushy. It was a slushy. It was a Douce slushy. That shit is day party. I think it was advertised as day party.
Right, so I mean,
I think it was that night.
If they was slushing down the Douce, I mean, it's facts, bro. They about to twerk. And then you playing Juvenile, they're going to twerk. I seen a girl twerk at the Steve Harvey show off of Juvenile.
But again, y'all keep saying twerk, but it wasn't about twerking. I think it was about
on the table.
Standing on the furniture. That's the problem right there.
The twerk got real. It was off the Douce. I mean, the twerk
it can happen.
It could happen.
It can happen.
They gonna do
MJ, you be twerking on couches? In places where you ain't supposed to be twerking?
Like I said, if it's a designated area.
No, not that. I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the booth next to a family that's eating chicken. You twerking, shaking your ass, looking at somebody's 7-year-old son and shit.
That's not me.
I mean, shit, Juvenile was on. That's all I'm gonna say.
With Douce and Patron
and Douce, he done said it.
Anything is welcome.
Bro said it 4 times, Douce. If they gonna twerk, bro.
That's funny, man.
That's how I go.
So, like I said, that story there ties into tonight's topic, man. For the past few weeks, we've been going all in on this, whole conversation, uncomfortable conversation about protecting black women, what men can possibly do to protect black women, and basically the conversation I wanted to elaborate more on is when we say or when we hear women say black women don't feel protected. What does that mean? Does that mean that you don't feel protected by black men? Because I see that narrative. I see that on Shade Room a lot. I see that online a lot. Like, does that mean you don't like feel protected in like because of like the relationships, the men that you've, been with, or is that just from random men that you feel like should come to your aid for whatever reason? So I just wanted to get your thoughts, because we had a similar conversation about this, and I just wanted to get a woman's perspective on that, because again, I don't want to make it seem like, one, we disregarding, the black woman's experience, but also I felt like that narrative can be divisive, right? Because if it sounds like you're alienating and villainizing black men, then where is the incentive for a lot of these younger guys to do so? It seems like it just adds more to the, hey man, fuck them then, that type shit, what I'm saying, which none of us want. Like, so it's not about pointing the finger, it's just about having a conversation to say, this is where we feel, unsupported, unprotected. This is where we as women can do better, and, let's have like that conversation of accountability and just what we can do to move forward. So I just want to get your thoughts on that.
I do feel like, based on the stuff that you were saying, you were like bringing up Shade Room and all that, I feel like social media plays a huge part in that narrative. So then it's like they don't really want to show a strong black couple. So you always hear and you see a lot of drama within the black community. I do feel like when you hear, like, forget men, we don't need them and all that, it does come from a place of hurt. So I can't speak for all women and all black women, but I do, in my experience, I've been hurt more from black men than anybody else, but I don't really date outside my race. So it's like,
I think that's a great point too. But that's another point right there too. It's like, if all you ever dated was a certain demographic, then of course you would feel strongly about that demographic. And of course, if you see a certain narrative, or you see people just kind of like always projecting like, interracial couples and how like they winning, and there's nothing wrong with dating outside your race, but I'm saying if it becomes where it looks like, hey, this is fun, or I'm happy on this end, like, girl, you should do this too, then yeah, I can see how, some women would be like, oh, we tired of y'all ass, we about to give such and such a try. But it's like, you don't see the white women and say, girl, we got fucking problems with these motherfuckers too. It's like it's a problem between people and not, a racial thing or not even just a sex thing. It's just people. Sometimes people are fucked up. Sometimes people, Tavis said this a couple of weeks ago, sometimes people don't pay attention to fucking red flags.
They ignore them.
Yeah. And so then you stay in these relationships, and we talked about this, you stay in these relationships where, again, we not saying this is right or condoning it, but you stay in an abusive relationship, and you can have a brother like CJ or myself or any one of these men up here come to your aid. But, you with some thug ass dude. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen this meme where it says it's something sexy about knowing my man to shoot this bitch up if it go down?
I've seen memes like that where they're condoning like toxic traits to think that it's romantic.
So I'm like, there's a certain type of weak ass man that will see that and be like, oh, that's the type of motherfucker I need to be in order to.
But women and men play a part in both that. It's not just one part, because the woman has to allow that.
Indeed.
And then the man has to feel like it makes him powerful to have someone listen to him in that type of way. So it's both parts. It's like they're both toxic. It's not really just the man's fault or the woman's fault, because at the end of the day, you hear, I don't want to go mess with so-and-so because he doesn't buy me the things I want. So I'm going to go mess with this rich white guy,
Get you a
Hispanic guy,
scammer.
or that. And then with the girl or with the guy, he's like, you know what? She talks back. She doesn't know how to listen, so I'm gonna go with Becky. Like we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, white girls listen more than black girls apparently.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to dominate, and that's what I hear. Like men like to dominate. So how do you feel about that, MJ?
Yeah. What you think? What's your thoughts, MJ? Like, have you been in any relationships, or can you know, what is your general feelings on whether or not you feel protected or unprotected by black men? And before you answer, let me remind you that we unlocked your car last week when you got locked out.
Let me inform you.
Let
me inform you that I have chip marks on my door.
That's
the crowbar.
That's these two brothers right here.
It's okay. I'm getting a new car.
Hey, the bus is rolling, and y'all got to go on there.
Oh my gosh! So I think the one thing that has not, I feel like I have not received from we're talking specifically black men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Acknowledging my achievements and supporting them is probably because I'm easily a nurturer. It's just what I do. So I want to, before I go too deep into that, before I get too deep into that concept of like, you know, being a nurturer, I want to also talk about how it should just be natural for a man to want to protect a woman regardless if she's pleasing him or appeasing him. Because she's a woman and it's kind of a lead by example kind of thing if you are a dominant man. If you are. So a woman who may need to be led in a season because we have cycles naturally. So, you know, things like that. I think the achievement and support is huge. And just the intuition of a man, you can tell who's in tune.
So that speaks more towards
is that
personal
your love
relationship.
Language, though? Like
that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, like somebody like telling you, like acknowledging your achievements. Like I just want to know. Like I feel like that's some sort of your love language.
So I like that you asked that because even when Sis over here was speaking about her situation as far as dating within her ethnicity, I have had a wide range, you know, things like, so I've been in different situations, and with me, I'm a different situation too. You know, I'm one of those different situations, just like a man be a different situation. You know, I get people who have only dated girls like me, and then I get people who have, you know, never dated a girl like me. So I get every situation.
Right.
And what I do,
situation,
like maybe interracial, like I interracial date.
Yeah.
So
she diversifies.
Right.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Was the cat dicker black or white?
Oh my Lord! It's a cat dick. We about to talk about a cat dick.
Yeah. She had a cat dick story in the first episode.
It looked like a cat dick.
No.
However, that's it. Intuition is probably the last thing that I really want you guys to be able to talk about as far as protecting. Are there stipulations? Is it situational? And is this negotiable for women with whatever a man decides
But that sounds more like
his love language, you know?
Personal relationships.
Maybe protection's not his love language.
Or maybe protection is based off perspective. You feel me?
Right.
In my own relationship, like I've had that conversation about us dealing with her view of what protection was, because she had brought up, I had a situation where she brought up a moment of me not, she didn't feel protected, but I'm looking like, look, I'm big as hell, you feel me? I'll take down anything, chop down any tree. But then it came down based to perspective. Her perspective on protection was different from mine. We came from two different cities, and I think sometimes like men don't understand if you don't tell them. Like we're kind of straightforward, and I feel like sometimes and this is not all women, but from women that I've dated, I know they feel like you should be a mind reader, and I just don't read minds. You know?
Yeah.
But I try to. You feel me?
I've been in
I
that.
literally posted that the other day.
See?
I wish somebody could just read my mind so I don't have to explain myself. But that comes from that comes from being in a situation where you're like uncomfortable because you can't really like communicate with that person.
Right.
So then it's like, I wish you could just see what I'm thinking, so I don't have to struggle to be comfortable with you, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
And that's true, because I also like, I know past relationships also build who you are into your next one. So if you deal with somebody you can't talk to in your past, you might come into the next one like, well, shit, the last nigga I couldn't really say something to. I don't know how I could talk to this one. So I mean, you know.
Do you believe? I love asking women this. Do it seems like a lot of times women become the men that they're accustomed to dating? Because if you're dating a man who's not, if you're dating a string of men who are not affectionate, then I feel like you become kind of programmed to not wanting affection, and then like you in turn like just lose that side of you. So do you think like there's some validity to that?
No, I think that's true. I don't think that it's like strictly just to women. I do feel like when you sleep with anybody, you gain traits from that person.
No soul ties.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like you guys already know. So it's way bigger than just having a one night stand. So I do feel like, because I haven't been in that many relationships, I've only been in 2, and they've lasted almost 2-3 years, but they were very serious, and my last one was abusive. So it's like I'll be single for 2 years in June. So I'm definitely going through the whole like learning how to communicate with new people, trying to date, trying to read the right situation. So I will say going through a relationship that hasn't been as like emotionally stable has made me a little bit more insecure, but then I'm able to say that out loud and know that I wasn't at that point before, and it only happened because of that. And that's when a person has to heal. So I feel like a lot of people like come from those places because, again, they're hurt. Like they're still dealing with past trauma that they haven't healed, and it's way harder, dealing with that. Some people heal in 6 months, some people heal in 3 years. It's different for everybody.
Do you think people should take more time between breakups and maybe reconnect with themselves? And do you feel like if they did more of that, it'll be less of like strain of like the next possible relationship?
I feel like, yeah, but everyone's time is different. So I feel like a person can heal from, because honestly with my first relationship, it was really good. It was kind of boring, but it was safe. And I broke up with that person, and I didn't really feel any type of way. My last relationship was a situationship, and like that took a huge toll on me compared to the first relationship. So it really just depends on the dynamic, and I feel like what you went through with that person, like what you went through.
I think also too, I don't think the length of time that you're single matters. It's more so, are you doing the work while you're single?
I was about to say that too.
Because it's like you could be single for 2 years, 3 years, but if you're not doing the work to heal, it doesn't matter.
I seen a meme, again, it's Shade Room, where it was like, I do, man. I be on there, bro, just to keep up with like a lot of stories and shit. But
in the comments,
I be in them fucking comments though. I be reading the comments, right? But I seen this one meme where it was like, it was about I forgot which one of these, because there's so many like new popping faces out here now. Some girl, but she put up some meme where it said like, shame on you men for dating women who aren't healed yet. And a dude had a great fucking comment. He was just like, shame on you for dating men and you're not healed yet. So it's like, take that personal accountability. Like, how are you putting yourself in a position to date people and you're not healed yet, but you saying you took advantage of me knowing that I'm not healed yet? How the fuck do I know you're not healed?
That's how you know. That's how you know she's not healed. She didn't even think that
like,
through.
Period. Some people just don't know they're broken. Yeah. And like, I can't blame you.
So
if I don't know you broken.
What you're doing is you're putting yourself in these situations where you self-sabotaging, but then you're also projecting that onto the men and saying you're continuing this cycle of like breaking me down, but it's like, no, you haven't built yourself up yet. So it's like, again, it's not about pointing fingers, it's not about blame, it's about accountability.
But it's easier to point fingers.
Relationships, toxic relationships are perfect for growth. Like, period. No matter what we've all been through toxic relationships. But if you got out of that, you've also gotten stronger. So, I mean, they're necessary in a sense. You got to go through the bullshit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, all mine was romantic, but
I don't even know, bro. I don't even know if you can say that, like, that they've grown. I just think sometimes people just get accustomed to being in those toxic relationships.
Right. But I'm talking about it when you make it through it.
It's
like
all that.
once you make it through it. Yeah, once it's over. I mean, staying in it, that comfortable toxic shit.
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying comfortable as far as they keep getting into and seeking out these toxic people with these toxic traits because again, they don't see they can't see themselves as elevating past this low-hanging fruit.
Right.
Like Sierra?
Ooh, damn, why
Who's Sierra?
Who's
Sierra?
Not Future baby mama.
It's easy. Look. I will say this, and I won't say I'm not knocking Sierra, but I'm saying it's easy to say she stopped dropping the toxic men when you find a Russell Wilson type who seems more. No, don't say that. Ted. I don't know if I can say. Does he seem more beta?
Oh
no,
because he a quarterback, so he got to be
out. You sizing 3?
He command the whole team. He ain't no beta.
Passive.
He's sizing.
Yeah, passive. I should say that. I should say that.
He's passive.
It's a such thing as in between a beta and an alpha. It's a sigma. I feel like he's maybe more sigma. Like you could be alpha, have alpha traits, but still be in touch with your more beta side.
And it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is when you have a man, again, because we spoke on that, right, with the Sierra and Future shit, right, to where, like, remember she was going back and forth with Future on Twitter, and I'm just like, I can't see how a man's man wouldn't shut that down.
Oh, yeah, I would have shut that shit down.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? If this shit is interrupting our household, why the fuck is you entertaining that shit right there? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we as good as we project on social media and shit, if we goals, why the fuck you care about that? Like, let the court do what it do. And so that's what I'm saying. It's easy to seem like, yeah, Sierra elevated when you find a motherfucker who seems like Sigma or more beta like Russell Wilson. But it's like,
do you have kids?
Yeah. But tell me, like, I want to see a woman get with a motherfucker who come from a toxic rich motherfucker to a quote unquote everyday working Joe, dude who don't got it like you do, and then tell me you just as happy.
You ain't never seen a Tyler Perry movie?
I was just gonna say, do you know where Sierra's from? Atlanta.
We talking about a fucking movie.
Like, she's from Atlanta.
Movie?
She can do
All
it.
Tyler
She
Perry
can
movies.
do it. She can do it.
Tyler.
She can do it, son.
He always got the braids, the 8-pack.
But I'm saying it's easy to say that when you go from money to money.
Right.
When you go from money to you being the breadwinner, so to speak.
But that's her standard.
No, but
though.
she went from like savage nigga to good nigga though. Like,
yeah, but I'm saying like,
different...
but what I'm saying is what we was talking about was like, he was basically saying like she elevated herself, but I'm like, it's easy to seem like that when you're going from money to money. But let me know that when you go from money to the same type of dude Russell Wilson is, without Russell Wilson money.
Right.
Go from savage ass rich nigga to good.
Right, because she elevated when she got with Russell, right? But I think it's just because they brands worked. You're right. If she was with somebody who didn't have no money, obviously his brand isn't up. But I mean,
and I want to see her be viewed as that same, like, she happy now. Don't blame her because she elevated. It's like,
T and Tamara, one of them, right? Like, she met a dude that didn't have nothing, and then like, look at him now. He's an actor and he's doing this thing. You feel me? Like,
he was always an actor.
I mean, he was an aspiring actor. He was
always an actor.
Was he always in the game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay then. Well,
yeah, he was always an actor.
Okay.
Yeah, that dude done been on
I
a
knew
lot
at
of shit.
the time when they did get together, he didn't have no money.
I'm just trying to think, and I'm not saying that it's not out there. I'm just trying to think of that scenario where a woman has went from a rich, toxic ass dude to a quote unquote broke dude or everyday working man, and is just as and is more happy, seems more happy in that dynamic?
Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Tyler Perry.
But that's
again.
a movie.
That's the only thing I can
Perfect
think
Exactly.
example.
We only talk about movies.
Okay,
so you
all
saying
right,
the
so
shit don't
When's
exist?
the last time a black man left a, like, you know, maybe he liked a Caucasian woman with his family could be like a little more on the hood side, or at least have some, you know, I don't want to use the wrong word as far as like, I'm gonna just say hood. Hood could be anything, or black wealth, you know. Instead, and then he's dating a woman who's like Caucasian. So, when's the last time a man went from that and went back to a sister and just was like, "This is everything"? So, could you call that one out?
I'm sure that's in the Tyler Perry movie somewhere.
No, you saying hold on. You saying when has a man went from a white woman to a sister?
Yeah, I mean, right now I don't think about that.
That's
I
all
don't,
the
but
fucking time,
That's
though.
a question for you men.
Well-
what since you guys think about people's relationships, I want to know who
Nick
did that
Young.
one.
Nick Young. Got it.
Okay,
Nick Young did that.
Oh,
he left
he-
Iggy Azalea
she was
back
his-
to his black queen.
Oh,
I'm proud
I
of
do.
him. Good
That,
job,
hey, that
Nick.
was a little.
That was it.
That was a.
But
okay.
look, that's not the
Thank
dynamic.
you.
But you saying you see that as a problem?
Oh, no. I actually just wanted to talk about the topic of discussion. You know, we're putting light to something. So when you say it's a problem, opposed to Sierra and her situation being a problem, was it a problem? Or you were just saying it's like, what was the point you were saying?
No,
As far as
this
her
is
being
just
with Russell
a
and then
dynamic that
square?
we
Square
spoke
and
about
then a
a
hood
few
nigga?
weeks ago. But like, I know it's not a problem, but we talking about the perception of it.
Oh,
Not that it's a problem. Like, I think like that whole, again, like the whole interracial dating thing is not a problem. I think again,
It's like a class thing you're speaking about.
It's not though.
Wealth.
It's
not
though.
wealth. It's kind of class.
No, it's not though.
It's a class of person.
look
Future's
at
a
this.
certain class.
If you
Russell
were a
Wilson
young
is
black
class
man
of
or
man.
you were a young black woman who was raised in a predominantly white neighborhood and you go to a predominantly white school, this is all you know and this is all you see. And if that young man, that young woman dates their high school sweetheart or whatever like that and end up dating that person, how can I, as a black man or a black woman, look at that person and shame them for that who they choose to love? I truly believe love is love. Like, I don't care anything about
color.
Yeah, I don't care anything about that. Like,
Right.
I don't
what about
think
class? Is that?
I don't even think. I think the only time
Do you
black
feel
men.
sensitive about class?
What do you mean?
Like, forget the color. What about the class of men? Can the broke man get the same thing? Can the hood? Can the shooter get the same thing as the alpha, or is that just like taboo?
I want
shooter
you to
become
put your
alpha?
question in a scenario like you're
I
not.
did a shooter opposed to like because you're talking
What is
about
a shooter
Sierra.
A person that shoots a gun.
Like,
if we're
what is
talking
a-
about
Still
class,
speaking
Kapow,
about class
pow.
of men.
are you speaking about a poor man and a rich man?
I'm talking about
Yeah,
class
like a ladder.
of men. So we're Future is a class of man. Russell Wilson's a
what
class.
what class
of
of man
man.
is Future?
The wealthy
Shooter?
kind.
That's why is he a shooter?
I don't know. That's what I came up with.
Thugger. She
This
just
was my hypothetical situation.
He's a
Or
rapper. Let's go.
oh,
rapper.
you guys don't like the shooter thing.
We don't know that
Rapper.
Because
I like
we
this.
haven't
Oh,
classified.
I didn't
I'm
say
not
he was a
classifying
shooter.
any woman, so I don't know how we got into classifying.
We're talking about classification
people, though.
of men. What is it? Could a shooter ever be an alpha?
What is
Could-
a shooter?
But you
though?
gotta
A pow,
describe
pow,
to
he has
the audience what a shooter is because we don't know. What it
Okay.
is.
He has a gun.
He's been been
It's like-
saying
It's
it.
like-
I
He's
think they're
been
gonna hear
saying
me in the
it.
background.
I mean, like, look.
But
like,
a lot of men can have.
a lot of men
guns.
have guns, right? That don't mean
But-
you
Are
a
you saying like a
shooter.
thug, like a street dude, like
Okay. So there's two people here that understand this terminology, and
I
there's two
do.
people
I'm
that
from
don't.
straight out the hood.
Nah, bro. We all from the hood.
Military.
Though. I'm
Let's
trying
talk
to get
militant.
her
Okay,
to.
here
I'm
we
trying to
go.
get her to
We got
elaborate
class
on
and
what
we got
she's saying.
militant.
You saying a shooter? So
A
you
militant
talking about?
individual. He could be white, black, Mexican, Asian, Chinese, militant man. Could a militant man, like a woman, be with a militant man and then switch up and be with a white collar gentleman? Like how,
Why shouldn't you? Because what you're talking about, you're not talking about traits.
But we're talking about
We talking about traits.
How you said Sierra with Future and Russell Wilson, we brought them up how she switched, right?
No, we're talking about the perception of it. We were talking about how there was all these memes out that said when a real man take you from the trap house to the White House. And I was saying, well, why is it that Future put her in the trap house? They made it seem like she was forced to be somewhere. She willingly was in that trap house with them dudes. Yeah, so I'm saying, why is it this perception that she's grown because she got with a man because
he's a man and he was courting her, and then she went to a man that courted her better.
You don't know what those people's
courting
love life is like,
or love language.
You don't know what that is. You just know what the perception online
Future
is.
Future could court a woman totally different than Russell.
It didn't work out at all.
Because look,
he could just court women differently.
Does that mean
she grew
to say,
up?
Look, people fuck with people differently.
Right.
So and we was talking about this last week. So you mean to tell me that you really feel like there's not a woman out here that you don't feel like that man would change for?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay then. So what I'm saying is, my only issue was how we put this stigma on him. Like, he ain't shit, he ain't never gonna be shit. But in one relationship, we never said he
what you saying.
You said that last week.
He's not shit now.
You definitely said it.
He said that last week.
And
you like, Feature ain't shit, he ain't never gonna be shit. You said that. And I swear to God, when we run this episode back, there will be a small fucking clip.
No, it's not.
That's going on.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I feel like
no,
this.
It's not.
I feel like this. At the end of the day, people grow. I feel like Sierra, she probably realized that's not where she wanted to be. She elevated, she grew. She has the right to do that. And, we should be happy for Black love.
No, fact.
Okay, instead of looking at it as elevate, why can't she just win a different path?
No, she elevated.
I mean, if she wasn't, it has nothing to do with Future. It has nothing to do with Future.
It don't, and that's what it's all about. Why do we invest so much into these people's relationships where we look at it as goals, right?
Because it ends up on Shade Room,
we
and
all
then
we all watch The Rich and Famous. Right. I mean, that's natural. We all watch The Rich and Famous.
Yeah,
so it's like, okay, that's what I want to be, because everybody, when they're young,
But it's like you only know what the perception is. You don't know what these motherfuckers deal with. She could be getting knocked upside her fucking head, and we don't even know about it.
I mean, we don't know a lot of shit to
that's
ever
a
happens.
fact, but
you ain't seen all these Netflix specials. I mean, we don't find out your shit years later.
We don't.
So, I mean, it could be happening, but from what we see, that's what we got.
She looks happy.
But I want to go back to MJ's classism statement and trying to see how does that correlate, though, because classism does not determine what your traits are, though. Just because a person is born in poverty does not mean they aren't shit, does not mean they have the drive to get up out of that impoverished situation. So again, your class does not determine who you are. So I was just trying to see how did that even correlate where a shooter could, a woman could be with a shooter and then be with a guy who's white collar, because I mean, I'm trying to see what's the difference in the men. They can be the same thing. The white collar dude could be a shooter.
So I do see why I didn't watch that either. But wow. I do.
Wow,
don't judge
what?
me.
What's wrong with y'all?
What? I ain't watch Power.
Stars was giving out free weeks.
Oh,
right. You know how many
Power was whack after like 2 or 3 seasons, bro.
Okay. So you actually made it clear too that what you were saying about Sierra and Russell. I see the trap house to the White House. I understand that concept. So when I was talking about the shooter and like a blue collar guy or something, I was just talking about the transition that people will do it any day. A girl could be over here with a coke dealer and be like, I'm tired of this shit. Or, and then be like, hey, I've been this guy who at the bank every day for the last 3-4 years of my life been so sweet to me. And, you don't know that. So that's a woman's life. It could be anyone. When they say women could be with anyone, a woman could.
Yes, they can.
The bus driver, he could be, oh my gosh, is that a Tyler Perry movie?
Probably.
Daddy's Little Girls. Oh, it's Daddy's Little Girls, right? That's what it's called.
It sounds Tyler Perry-ish. Is it?
Oh,
it is?
my God.
Hey, Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry had all these unrealistic ass characters in there. He had, I'm like.
But we just talked about real life situations.
Was that his movie where the motherfucker dropped the kids out the fucking window And at the end,
Oh, the
he
light
gave
skinned
Janet
dude.
Jackson AIDS, and another
No.
dude gave
No,
Janet Jackson.
no,
That
no,
was
no,
for
no.
colored girls only, right?
Yeah.
Yes, no.
That's not Tyler Perry.
That
It's
sounds like
Tyler.
Tyler
It's in the
Perry.
Tyler
Two
Perry
movies.
universe.
It
It
so
sounds
it's
sounds
not
like
his
they
movie.
made it
It's
over
in the
there.
realm.
No, that was
Trust
all
me.
one movie, bro.
No,
two
no,
movies.
you're right.
But that's
no.
was that Tyler Perry?
It sound like it. I'm gonna say it was.
The
Bro.
dude was PTSD. He was like the
He threw
chick
the
was like
babies out the
Janet
window.
Jackson's
The light skinned dude with the blue eyes.
assistant, and he dropped the kids out the window,
It was probably Tyler.
and Janet Jackson's husband was Ghost. Matter of fact, Amari Hardwick.
Oh right, facts.
And in the end, he was gay and he gave her AIDS.
Oh yeah, never watched.
I was like, man, what kind of fucking horror movie is this?
Was this movie?
Sound
did
terrible.
That was for colored girls
I'm saying,
only.
did it take place in Atlanta? 'Cause it-
You wrong. Hey, you gonna have them niggas up? They gonna be up here on your ass, man. You gonna, hey, where that fuck nigga Tavis at, man? Hey, Shawty, man, come over here, Shawty. We gotta holler at you, Shawty.
No, listen, I love Atlanta. Atlanta-
Hey, Shawty,
Atlanta
don't
is
come me with that
fun.
fuck boy shit, Shawty. you better clean that shit up, nigga.
No.
Oh man, but nah, bro, that was a fucking horror movie to me. I was like, what the fuck is this shit, bro? Like, I just felt like a lot of Tyler Perry's movies, man, projected like the worst character traits in men.
Bro, it was toxic.
but there was
relationships.
always to let me save you at the end. It was always like,
they had like a light skinned dude that
Right,
came say
with
today.
braids, he was like, I don't know about-
Shamar
I
Moore
love
had
you.
them fucking braids, man, that looked like snakes on top of his head.
What's the shit at Boondocks? They made fun of it. They was like, I love you and I love me some Jesus. And she was like, oh my God.
Then that motherfucker, what was that one movie, man, with Jill Scott? Damn, bro, what's wrong? Hey,
My bad. Yeah, my
man.
bad.
no, Jill Scott was in there, and her boy and her husband like berated her in front of they friends
the tall,
and called her
dark-skinned
fat.
dude.
I'm
Was
like,
that a Tyler Perry movie?
yes,
First, bro, all of it's Tyler.
all
Perry.
of Tyler.
If it's black and toxic, that shit is Tyler Perry.
It's all Tyler Perry.
I'm like, man, he made a killing off of
Oh, bro.
pandering to a certain demographic and pandering to a certain vision of toxic relationships.
Yeah, black love.
Did
His
you see-
perspective
he
of black love.
he took real life shit and
Bro, that wasn't no real life
hold on,
shit,
hold on.
bro.
He took real life shit
And amplified.
and yeah, like
Okay.
what you call it, like
Magnified.
that's theater.
Yeah.
It was plays before it
No,
was
it's
movies.
amplified, not magnified. Magnified is seeing some shit that's actually there.
Words.
Amplifying is
Hey,
increasing some bullshit.
we gonna bring
that
a
you didn't
dictionary
know.
up on the next episode.
Oh, emphasized. Emphasized.
One of these words.
It's a couple words I could go for.
Synonym.
Yeah, man. Like I wasn't
Exaggerated.
for a long time. I didn't fuck with Tyler Perry because of that.
Facts.
And then when he got his studio, I was like, okay, clean slate. Now I'll judge you because now you in the position. If you tell me I had to do this in order to get this, now you got it. Let me see who the fuck you are now.
Oh, you ain't watched the O channel then, bro, because it's still the same. He ain't stopped. But I fuck with you, Tyler.
Oh man.
I do.
So basically, I wanted to go back to something MJ said too about. I feel like what you spoke on was what we kind of talked about last week. It seems like when we hear these things about black women saying, well, some black women say they don't feel protected. It's about personal relationships. Everything that you said to me sound like you were dealing with somebody who you feel like didn't value you. And only thing that I said in on the second episode was we have to change the messaging and stop saying black women don't feel protected, because that sounds divisive, you know, and
Like abusive?
no, it sounds divisive. It sounds like when you say you don't feel protected by black men, when you surrounded by black men who would, if a motherfucker came in here right now and start knocking over shit and be like, hey, move CJ, I'm about to slap this. Like, nah, it's not happening, bruh.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
wow.
But again, that's a personal situation, but it's been branded in general, you know, towards all black men. And I feel like that's a problem. That narrative is problematic though, because, you know, like you couldn't be up here. I don't personally, and I think I can speak for these men too. Like a man couldn't sit in front of either one of us and be like, "Hey man, black women ain't shit." Oh, that's me. That was an alarm. I'm sorry. Just act like it didn't happen.
Put your phone on vibrate.
No, that was an alarm. That was an alarm. That was an alarm. But no, that would be problematic if a black man was like, "Yo, man, black women ain't shit. That's why I only fuck with white women." That motherfucker get checked in a heartbeat.
Facts.
And that's not I don't feel like that's a general narrative though.
Well,
maybe that
disrespectful music out there. I don't know what y'all listening to.
So what if
I heard? Let me speak to that right quick, Travis. It's funny you said that because what's the actress? She just had that movie out, Annabellum.
Oh, Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, she put a tweet out recently that says
She's a musician.
she put a tweet out recently scalding black men for our music, right? In the messaging of our music, and say it's so fucked up because you have us dancing in the club to this too. And I'm just like, so you admit that you know this is bullshit, but you still in the club dancing to it. But then when you're not in that space when you're dancing to it, you're gonna say, y'all bogus as hell for putting out that music that we enjoy, that we be twerking to.
I think we
because now you got, I mean, what about the Megs and the Cardis of the world?
Right. Body yaddy 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 yaddy.
They still putting out that
Do
same.
that one more time.
I think it's a,
Yeah, do the thing. Nah, I want to see you do the
I can't do the thing, but I'll let y'all know.
thing. John didn't catch that.
I think so.
Sav was over here doing the body yaddy dance.
I think as black people we gotta be aware, and black people are really, like, when they say people are selling their souls, people are exchanging that check for destroying our community. Like, if you're a rapper or a public figure, any public figure, you got a responsibility to the culture because people are watching you. I don't give a fuck if you feel like you a role model or not. People are watching you. The young kids are impressionable. They're watching you. So you have to, the same amount of bullshit music you put out, you got to balance that out and put out some positive shit because you have that responsibility, right?
And that never sells, though. Unfortunately,
it does not.
It doesn't because it's a plot. It's like
you
it's
have
an agenda.
these.
Yeah.
If we talking about agendas, it's an agenda.
But it's a difference between what's promoted and what's being supported.
Right.
They can promote the shit all they want. We support it, so that tells them we want it. It's like
Supply
a drug
and
dealer. I can't be a profitable drug dealer in the neighborhood if the fucking people in the neighborhood aren't buying this shit.
Well, it's a familiarity thing. Like, what if you hear something so much, especially in the radios, where everybody you like, that's how you get accustomed to it.
Yeah,
We identify with us. We identify with toxicity, bro.
And until it starts, like, I don't know, like, well, I think now
I want to talk about identify too when you're done.
you have a lot of artists nowadays starting like on record labels and taking like a different route than trying to get like a a big deal, and maybe out of that wave, we get a different kind of music that's not so, just so toxic. But I think it's gonna take a while for generations, for us, because there are certain songs playing right now, we're gonna lose our shit. Like if Tupac,
back that ass up.
I ain't never heard Tupac back that ass up, bro.
I support it, and then I don't support it. And guess what? When I don't support it, I'm not listening to it. When I'm supporting it, it's a mood, it's a vibe. Maybe it's something that I was. Maybe I'm being a bitch that day. Maybe
But that's the problematic though. You don't think that's problematic though?
No. But it's like, I think it depends on how you're celebrating it, how you're expressing yourself. So I want to talk about the responsibility. So I've spent a lot of time in the music industry learning it, and in the community, and just in the culture in general. So with that being said, everyone's so different. Perspective, situational. I mean, music is a form of
Expression.
and we cannot tell nobody what to do when they're expressing themselves. I mean, people are expressing themselves with guns. and self-harm.
I think it's just more so about balance.
So what it is that people have to have a knowledge of self. And that's, for me, I feel like that's a solution, because you'll know when, for me, I have pretty good knowledge of myself and I'm still learning, that I'm in a mood and I'm not in a mood. If I'm negative, I'm not going to entertain it, or maybe I will entertain it, or maybe it's helping me. It's so situational. And I think for everyone, it's just so situational. When they say it, when they express it, as a songwriter, singer-songwriter, I actually have to get some things out of my head, something I may have seen or experienced, was close to, and somebody out there's in that situation right now, they're the toxic person. Toxic people are also once the victim. Hurt people hurt people.
Right.
So therefore, we have to look at everything as maybe plethora. Is plethora a good word? Maybe. It's very dynamic and complex. So it's just, if you're gonna drop a bomb, a solution, responsibility is responsibility of self. I think that's what it is. Because for me, I will. Because this started out by the men who talk about the bitches, right? That's what I was talking about at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I do celebrate it. Sometimes I do feel like I'm a bitch, but guess what? Sometimes I feel like I'm being a bitch because of what? That music. So
But
it's a culture that I'm living in and I'm entertaining.
What about the women that make that music as well, though? Do you put them under that same microscope, though?
Other women?
Yeah,
I do. That's what I'm saying. Because it's a culture I live in at the time, and it's seasonal. Women in their seasons, as we shift and we turn. There are seasons when we're out here with our community, and sometimes our communities, they change. We could be with the White House, or we could be with the trap house. So, we go through these situations.
Say that one more time. I didn't hear that.
We could be at the White House, or we could be at the trap house. Holla at your girl. No, I'm just kidding.
I really think this was wrapping up. I do think this conversation was healthy, extremely healthy. I had high hopes for this conversation, man. I think y'all showed y'all ass tonight, with great dialogue.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely.
Yeah, you won't be back again, but I'm just playing.
You love me. You love me.
No, I would definitely love to have this group back again. I did want to put a little bit more of a spotlight on our newest thief.
Yeah, welcome. I'm so happy to be here.
I was trying to see if Tavis was gonna say something when I said that. When I said our newest thief, because he give me shit about.
No, I give you shit for saying thieves out.
Oh man. Huh?
Does he get a garland?
I want to.
No, don't nobody get no garland. I ain't put no garland on nobody. What the fuck are y'all talking about?
You put it on him?
Yeah.
I want to do something.
This is the season, motherfucker.
You had the nerve to ask about a shooter, and he's sitting right next to one.
You see where he pointed at too, so be
Get
cool.
up out of here. See,
Be cool.
We getting catfished.
I'll let him know.
We not getting
You heard
cat
him.
dick today.
You heard him.
But we getting catfished by our whole host.
Did y'all explain the cat dick?
So
Another time.
No.
Okay. All right.
Quickly, cat dicking. All right, so I was telling them about Corey Holcomb, right? He had a joke where he said he used to send women fake dick pics because he said in the moment, they ain't gonna be checking his shit. And Fox had a joke, said he called it cat dicking instead of cat fishing. And she told us a story that she had about when she got cat dicked.
Oh, for real?
You got a cat dick story?
They really do that?
That's like, no, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
so
not,
that is a
I'm
sensitive
not giving you
subject,
that.
though. I mean, we're wrapping up, but
She's
that
like,
was
I'm
a
not giving
sensitive
you that.
subject.
You're not getting that out of me.
Well,
Not in the first appearance.
I mean, for her, because yes, I think you were cat dicked, actually, sister, because you probably thought he was a kind gentleman. He probably turned out to be a sociopath.
No, that's catfishing.
That's
Cat dick and a straight dick
Oh,
in pictures.
but I'm not all in her personal intimacy, but that could portray into intimacy too. Okay, but I'm not talking.
All right, that's a different episode.
Bet.
All right.
She caught that.
yo.
All right.
Appreciate y'all rocking with us for another week, man.
Yeah.
Anybody need to promote anything?
Follow me on Instagram,
Oh,
Tasha the
everything
Creator.
everything will be up there.
Oh, yeah, my
all your
Instagram
socials.
popping up. Oh yeah, I'm glad.
All your
Just
socials,
make
man.
it pop up like
We gotta,
like right-
you know, you guys don't see our dope
right here.
videographer, John, behind the camera. The man is
Yeah.
amazing.
John.
But yeah, we'll see y'all next week. And if y'all want to see this group of back again, so let me know. Put Cat Dickin in the comments.
Like, comment, subscribe, please, please.
Thieves out.
Thieves
Okay,
out.
Thieves out. That's how we leaving. That's what we doing?
Hey, you gotta say it.
Oh, thieves out. All
Thieves
right,
out.
man, we don't got
The
no
way this nigga
swords.
said though, like he said,
Thieves out
like
'cause I'm so West Coast.
like he about to
feel
just,
me?
hey, thieves out though.
Yeah. Straight out.
All right, man. Good night.